And a one, and a two, and a three. Good morning. Welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, thank you for that. If you're listening to us or watching the video that we put online, appreciate that as well. We put them up at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. They are free there. Again, we are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We're online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We are twice a week. We're on Saturdays. It's delivered to your mailbox on Saturday. We call it the Sunday edition. We're also on Thursdays. It's a magazine style then. Again, thanks for joining us this morning. Let's jump into your traffic here at 7:31 a.m. and it's your usual suspects. Hatchell Lane, heavy delays in and around Denham Springs Elementary as well as Denham Springs Junior High. Heavy delays on 16 in and around Denham Springs High School. However, not a whole lot of delays on 16 in Watson right now around Live Oak High. Kind of strange, but hey, I'm sure those folks up there will take it. Minor delays on 447 at 1025. Heavy delays on 190 at Juban Road. Be prepared for that, as well as major backups on I-12 heading westbound, just about hitting Juban Road this morning. However, pretty clear after you get past O'Neill with some minor delays after the 10-12 split. 190 4H Club Road and River Road, normal delays, normal minor delays. Going into the weather for today, it is currently 74 degrees. 91 is your high today. Probably feels kind of in the mid-90s. Low chances of rain. However, we did have that laser light show last night. Heavy rain, heavy rain, lightning, and some thunder. So very much interesting weather evening. Haven't had a good thunderstorm like that in quite some time here in the parish. Excuse me. Allergies. All that weather kicked it all up. LA 16, that would be Range Avenue, whatever you would like to call it, north of Denham Springs. Some of you have gotten kind of used to this. It has been an ongoing project by DOTD, replacing cross culverts and resurfacing the road. That is from Leah's Tire and Car Care going north. That work will continue starting Tuesday going through Saturday. They do it in the evening. Please keep your eye out for that. Please be careful in the area. We got some updates on which might be the big reason why a lot of you are joining us this morning. Buddy Ellis, Dunn Road, and Forest Lat all have an update. If you'll remember, in May of this year, we discussed that all three roads would be done at the same time. That is no longer the case. At present, it looks like Buddy Ellis is going to start first. Dunn Road will start in the next few months. And then once Buddy Ellis is done, they will work on Forest Lat. We'll run through those reasons in just a second. Buddy Ellis is starting first because much of the utility relocation has already occurred. The project and its bid were let out in July and awarded to Barrier Construction. Remember, this is a Capital Region Planning Commission Metropolitan Planning Organization grant. It's 80-20. 20% will be on the parish, as well as any of the permitting and extra fees that come with these projects. According to Parish Councilman Maurice Scooter Keene, that was a huge issue going forward with a lot of these projects, was environmental permits and getting all the permits squared away for these projects. So it looks like things are finally starting to fall into place. Again, Buddy Ellis will be first. Dunn Road will be second. That project, that bid will be let out Thursday, it's going to be Wednesday, September 11th. That'd be tomorrow. They will award that contract based on the bid, and then they will be working towards utility relocation on Dunn Road. That's why it will not start immediately. It will take some time. Don't forget that the Dunn Road project also includes several cross drain or cross street culverts that are being replaced for easier water flow from the western side of the road to the eastern side, so flowing through into Gravity Drainage 5. That is a project on behalf of Gravity Drainage 1, so I'm sure the residents in the area will appreciate that. Won't be as much of a dam as a lot of that water hits Dunn Road and stops. Now, Forest Lat will not be starting at the same time as either one of these. mostly because Buddy Ellis will have a bridge repair. Forest de Lat will also have a bridge repair. They did not want to shut down two roads at the same time. So they will finish the Buddy Ellis project first and then move on to Forest de Lat, hopefully in the spring, according to Chad Bacchus, who is the lead engineer on this project from Fort and Tablada. Now, these projects are all widening the roads to 22 feet. In some places, Dunn Road shrinks almost all the way to 17 feet. They'll be adding culverts and covering the ditches. So the ditches will be culverted. I don't know if you can verb that or not, but we're going to this morning. There'll be culverts installed in the ditches. They will be covered up. There will be catch basins to help move that water off the street. The roads will then be overlaid after the widening and drainage improvements are done, and then striped. It will take several months for each road. So please, if you live in those areas, it's one of those darkest before the dawn kind of situations. It will take some time for these projects to unfold, especially for Buddy Ellis, which is a long road, as is Dunn, quite frankly. So we will be looking towards this work to begin on Buddy Ellis sometime in the next few weeks. Dunn Road next 30 to 60 days, and then Forest de Lat sometime in the spring. All of those roads needed widening and overlay very, very badly, as well as some drainage improvements. So those are coming. There's your update for today. Hopefully a lot of that will get done sooner rather than later. As mentioned, Parish Councilman Maurice Scooter Keene said that, a lot of this was just an issue with permitting. However, R.C. Bubba Harris from District 5 said that a lot of the issue with Buddy Ellis especially is that it falls into three different districts. Tracy Girlinghouse has a piece, he has a piece, and Jeff Averett has a piece from District 6. Tracy Girlinghouse is from District 7. So it was very hard for them to, you can't pick and choose pieces for the road program. That was difficult. Finally, this program came up through the Capital Region Planning Commission, which allowed them to get the whole road done all at once. So going to be some tough times ahead as they work on it, but it will be hopefully finished within a few months. They'll move to Forest de Lat, but eventually some nice new roads with nice new drainage. So that will be coming soon. Walker has finally condemned a house, and you laugh, but condemning is a very difficult process. It's a very legal burden process, and they finally were able to condemn a house at 13705 Perkins Lane, owned by George Perkins Jr., and it has been carried over month to month in the year of our Lord 2019, just because they'd get in touch with him and then he'd disappear. They'd get in touch with him and then he'd disappear. Well, finally they got in touch with him, and he didn't really have much to say. And so they were finally able to get their city attorney in the room, get him in the room. He wasn't going to stop it, and so they are now condemning the house. So a long road for that one, but it finally happened. Unfortunately for the owner, but fortunately for the residents in and around that area, as that house had become. There's a picture of it on our news page, www.livingstonparishnews.com/news. You can go take a look at the property. It's a rough situation. Tonight, Denham Council will meet. They'll be deciding on firefighter leave, which is coming up it's not a renewal. There was a law discovered in an Attorney General's opinion that that the leave and injury and sick leave for firefighters had changed. Before, as passed down in 2000 to Mayor Jim DeLon, there was an AG, Attorney General's opinion, that the current statute that governs sick and injury leave for firefighters did not affect towns 13,000 people or smaller. A more recent opinion says that is not the case, that it affects any town regardless of size. So what you have is Denham Springs, which is between 11 and 12,000 people, and you had a fire department whose leave was predicated the same way as any city employee. It was a scale system that was based on the amount of time you have worked at the city, and you would accrue a certain amount of hours per pay period that you did not take any leave. Up to anyone working 15 years or more with the city would accrue 7.5 hours per pay period. They were paid every 2 weeks. So if you're wondering how that works, for every month you don't take any leave, you get 14 hours off. Well, 15 hours off, excuse me. I'm good at math at 7:41 in the morning. So what it's changed to now is that firefighters get up to a year off for injury or sick leave. There are certain requirements they must meet if they want to take the full time off, including regular doctor visits, regular check-ins with their supervisor, that sort of thing. And on 1 year and a day, so 366 days after their first day of leave for either reason, injury or sickness, they are eligible for termination. Now, if they return to work on day 364, the timer resets. So very interesting law. Will be interesting to see how it pans out for Denham Springs. I'm sure they'll be keeping an eye on it. There is a public hearing on it tonight. They still have to hold a public hearing. If you want to come learn about it, talk about it, that'll be tonight at Denham Springs City Hall, the new City Hall. The meeting begins at 6 p.m. I will warn you, though, that is the last piece on the agenda. Last night was the Denham Springs Planning and Zoning meeting, which is very interesting. There is a piece of property on the corner of LaSalle and Denham Springs that is across the street from Walmart. It is owned by a CPA. Her name is Shelby Carnahan, and she's having trouble rezoning a piece of property that she purchased behind her office. So the problem that she's having is, in order to unlock the value of that as a commercial piece of property, it has to be rezoned. It's currently residential. The citizens in that subdivision, it's a neighborhood, have come out on several occasions to fight against it, and she has not, that would be Ms. Carnahan, has not been able to get it rezoned. Last night was another failure. It was a unanimous vote against rezoning it to commercial. The residents' concern is what would the future purpose be if she sold that piece of property, because whoever bought it would have free reign to do whatever they'd like with that commercial piece. And while Ms. Carnahan may have a handshake deal with the neighbors, anyone who bought it in the future might not. So that was the concern. This has been an ongoing saga. It will be interesting to see where Ms. Carnahan takes it from here. Also tonight, the Master Plan Committee will be meeting for the first time since Mr. Girlinghouse introduced the ordinance that would adopt the 2013 Envision Livingston Master Plan. They will be discussing the economic corridor with Mr. David Bennett from LEDC. It's an oft-mentioned piece of the puzzle in the original master plan from 2013. It's a 1.5 mile stretch north and south of the interstate, in which there would be increased focus on zoning and infrastructure improvements to try to turn the area into the gateway for Livingston Parish, attracting jobs, businesses, which increase tax base, and trying to keep jobs here. Roughly, at the time the master plan was done, like 66% or 2 out of 3 people from Livingston Parish were leaving to work somewhere else, and usually outside of their groceries tend to spend their money where they work. So it will be interesting to see what that discussion holds this evening. Again, the Parish Council has introduced the 2013 master plan in an attempt to try to conquer zoning quickly. If you want to read about all that, it's at www.livingstonparishnews.com/news. But the main issue, the long and short of it, is the committee heard from Mark Harrell, who is the Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness Director, who is also the grant acquirer, purveyor for the parish. And he told them that in order to get zoning, parish-wide drainage, and parish-wide sewer would take upwards of 2 years, maybe more. It would also cost about $2 million, which would be anywhere from $375,000 to $450,000 in match on the parish's end. The parish told the committee they don't have it. Mr. Girlinghouse, who was the proponent of the committee, said that we don't have enough time to wait for zoning. We need it now, especially in light of the Premier Concrete issue. So he introduced this to push it. They gave themselves, that would be the parish council, gave themselves a month to discuss it or to read it internally. They will discuss it not at this parish council meeting on Thursday, but on the 26th. So you can be looking for that on the 26th. But again, this is the first master plan committee meeting since that was introduced, and they will be talking to David Bennett from LEDC. After having a strange bye week, Southeastern will be taking on Ole Miss, so they're trying to use that extra time to get prepared for for that SEC school. Are they the Land Sharks now? I don't know. Go Lions. Last night, in a total barn burner, the Lady Cats won a rally versus the Lady Jackets. Great volleyball game. Just 5 sets. Just crazy. Was following William Weathers on Twitter as he updated us as things went along. Please check that out. www.livingstonparishnnews.com/sports. Very good game. Live Oak Junior High has a very interesting plan for a rundown building. As you can see, if you look at www.livingstonparishnnews.com/living, Miss Daniel DeSalle was named principal of the new Live Oak Junior High. And there's this rundown building on campus, and he said he didn't when they were doing I guess you can say updates and renovations to the building. They asked him if he wanted to tear it down. He said no. And what has eventually happened is the students as well as the faculty are working together to turn that rundown building into a functional greenhouse for the special needs department. It's a great story about how the idea came about and where they are in the process. Please check it out from Mr. David Gray. It is www.livingstonparishnnews.com/living. Please don't forget, we did a podcast with the guys from the library. They also promoted their event through Mr. David Gray. Saturday was Livingston Parish's celebration of Community Heroes Day, which is a celebration of first responders. It was the Dim Springs Walker Branch Library. Great event, packed. Tons of kids and parents coming out to talk to these first responders about what's going on, what's happening. There's a great story online, again, from Mr. David Gray at www.livingstonparishnnews.com/living. There's also a photo gallery. Miss Morgan Pruitt was out there, as well as Mr. David Gray, taking pictures of all the kids and all the first responders interacting. Great event, really well put on by the library. It was a ton of fun. And then LSU beat Texas, so it was even better. Let's get back one more time around your traffic here this morning as we saddle in for a Tuesday, which will hopefully be a nice and lovely Tuesday for everybody. Looking like all that traffic is finally funneled out of Hatchell Lane and 16, and it's now on the interstate. Delays are backed up if you're heading on I-12 westbound past Jubin Road. Also heavy delays 190 at Jubin as well. 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190 where they come together. Heavy delays going in all directions. The backup on I-12 stretches now all the way to Sherwood. You're now looking at heavy delays after the 10-12 split. Minor delays on 64 heading into Central, and some heavy delays still on 447 North in Walker at 1025. One more time with your weather. It's currently 74 degrees here at 7:50 a.m. 91 degrees is your high. Probably feels something like 95, 96. 20% chance of rain. Thanks again for joining us. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. If you watch this live, we appreciate that. If you watching or listening to us later, it's at www.livingstonparishnnews.com/podcast. If you ever miss these shows, we do post them there as quickly as we can after the show. Sometimes the videos take a while to render. And you can check them out there, as well as our long-form podcast, which are, when we sit down with people for an extended period of time, sometimes upwards of 30 minutes. Sometimes it's just me talking on a particular subject. The last one we did last week was on the master plan. If you're interested in that, you can also find that one at www.livingstonparishnnews.com. news.com/podcast. The News is on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We'd appreciate you checking us out there. We're twice a week in print. We're on Sundays, delivered to your mailbox on Saturday. We're also on Thursdays in a magazine style. New announcement, you can find our paper in Rouse's now in Denham Springs at Juven Crossing. Appreciate you giving us a check out there. Thanks again for joining us. My name, again, is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the News. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and we'll be back at you this afternoon.